Hey, pussy, are you still there?
I actually admire that you can actually be this fake. And like when the TV comes on, how you can just change. You're the scum of the earth.
You don't doubt me, I couldn't do it. The odds that I couldn't do it. Look at me now. Lebanon, Pakistan, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Over the Octagon. We are happy to have you guys. We are doing my favorite part of the segment where we get to interview some fighters. And today we have our own, Atlanta's own, Rafael Assuncao, man. Welcome, man. I'm glad to have you in.
Thanks, man. What's up, guys?
Gotcha, man. I'm
Thanks,
glad
man.
you took some time out of your day to come see us and chat it up with us. I met you at a PFL event.
Yep.
Yeah.
Evan just told me. That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, man. It was a great time. The drinks were flowing for us over there, man.
We had a few.
Yeah, man.
I got in trouble that night too. I went somewhere, man, like after party or something, man. I got home, my wife was going crazy, man. I ended up somewhere, man.
I'm surprised these guys even remember meeting you, to be honest, because they were live from our Instagram at the PFL event, taking pictures, shirtless pictures. There's the two guys that went from our podcast had their shirts off at one point. Like,
oh yeah, man.
You know, I'm hearing stories about the PFL event. And I'm like, I don't even know how you guys remember the PFL event. Like, based off of what I saw, I mean,
I don't get hammered, but I probably had a couple of beers. Not a couple. I was at beer all night. There's at the VIP there, free drinks.
Free drinks. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we were going at it.
We walked in with 4 people, and we had to cut one of my boys off real quick. He was getting too wild. I was like, "Hey, man, you're gonna get in trouble. You got to rock out." So that's what
funny,
happened,
man.
But either way, man, I've been watching you for as long as I've been watching mixed martial arts. I started watching you in WEC because WEC came out on TV, man. You didn't have to get the pay-per-view for that.
Yeah.
So, man, I was watching you since then. I've been a huge fan, and
Thanks,
it's a pleasure to having you, man. You've had some wars in your career, man.
Yeah, some good fights.
Definitely,
I got a pretty strange style, man. Now I'm getting older now. I'm starting to realize, like, hey, man, what's my style? I don't even know my own style. Like, I never thought I was good, man. I said this in a previous interview before. I was like, man, I never thought I was good. But then I've been fighting for so long since I was a kid, man. I'm scrapping and fighting, I got in trouble. When I came to America, I got in trouble for fighting because here you can be fighting around school and stuff. You get in trouble. The police will come to your house, man, here in America.
I'm telling you, man.
Which is good, you know. You keep the law. The law works here. You can't just beat somebody up and like jump kick the guy and
I wish.
And then I had you know, like one of the parents called the police. He was a mess, man. But then I found martial arts again, and it kind of changed my life after that again. I never got in trouble.
Nice.
Never. After I became a professional, started training, my life switched completely. So that's my story ever since. But my style of fighting, it's great. I was like, man, I'm not a big fan of my own style, but I won some fights, you know.
Yeah,
and I heard you saying that in a post-fight interview one time with Paul Felder.
Okay.
You were talking about counter punching, and you had said to your coach, like, "Hey, I in between rounds, I think I'm just gonna counter punch a little bit. I'm gonna go back to what I used to do, right?" And
I remember that.
You know, and the fans don't really like that, but it wins fights, right?
Man,
I think it was your last win in the UFC.
And it started winning, and then they're like, "Oh man, this guy." I was 10-0 in here, so I started my career in Georgia. I was 5-0 here in Georgia. Then I started going out to other places to test myself. They started offering me fights everywhere: Idaho, Colorado Springs, Illinois, everywhere. And then I'm like, okay, I'm 10-0 now. I'm like, oh man, I can't believe I'm beating all these guys up. They didn't have my weight class 135, 145. So a lot of those matches was at 155 where I can find guys to fight. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. I'd probably walk around at 152, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, and I fought some tough guys. That was when I fought Masvidal.
Yep.
The Bird Dog. The Bird Dog was a big old dude, man. He's knocking everybody out from like Colorado Springs somewhere, and and this guy was crazy, like crazy dude, and I had, I fought him. He didn't make weight, and bunch of fights, man. I fought Jeff Curry, and he was a big time then. He's a former UFC fighter, right?
Yeah,
Curry.
he is.
I fought him in Illinois on the main event out there.
Joe Lawson.
Yeah, Lawson in Florida.
Yeah.
Lawson in Florida. And then I beat him up there. I'm like, oh shit, man.
You did.
I was just doing my thing and training. I was training a lot because I love training. And then I started accumulating wins, and then the WEC came to me. They're like, hey, we want to sign you.
Absolutely, man.
I was 10-0, 11, 10.
The WEC, just like Nick was saying, for me, when I was younger, and I've told these guys this story a million times, they probably are sick of hearing it, but we didn't have a lot of money growing up. I used to always ask my dad to try to get pay-per-views to big fights. It never had was never gonna happen. He wasn't paying for anything, and but WEC was on Spike TV, right? Channel 60.
No, Versus TV.
Versus. Okay.
Versus.
And but so WEC was on cable on Channel 62 or whatever where I'm from. And was like my introduction to being able to finally, watch these guys. And I mean, really anybody that's listening to the episode or watching on YouTube or anything like that doesn't know very much about Rafael. You obviously haven't been watching mixed martial arts for a while, but your resume, I mean, we could sit here and dissect this resume forever. I mean, because you have really fought the who's who of bantamweight mixed martial arts fighters. The toughest competition there is, you've fought them and beat them. Right. Aljamain Sterling is a name that a lot of people nowadays know. Right. Yeah. You've got to win over him. Right. So people may not know, but if they don't, they should learn and figure it out. Right. You did this for a very, very long time at the highest level there is.
Yeah, no, it started to get to the highest level there. Probably when I joined the UFC. After the WEC was still high level, but a lot of times I didn't cut weight, because I fought at 45 there. Right. So it was a little bit different. The sport was still kind of new.
Mm-hmm.
And then they merged with the UFC at 35, and then guys started getting really good then. The sport started to evolve quite a bit after the merge there. I don't remember what year, but after the merge, I remember I was like, okay, these guys are good now. TJ Dillashaw and all those guys.
I was going to mention that, man.
Yeah, Garbrandt came in. A few years after that, he started knocking guys out. Everybody, all the 35ers there, they were starting to come around. Like, oh man, the left was getting good. I need to step my game up, right? And then I was like, okay, I gotta start training. I think I was at probably 34 already there, 34 years old, maybe 35. No, 33, 34, 35. So those 3 years was like the 3 years that kind of evolved. The sport evolved a lot. I'm like, okay, I got to start training pretty serious. I did okay for a while. Never got the title shot. You guys know that, maybe.
Yeah. I was looking into that.
It was just, I don't know if it was a personality thing. You know, I was like, oh, you know, I don't give a shit. You know, let me train. Training was so tough, man. I've always trained so hard, and I focus on training. So for me, my professional career was training. It was like, okay, it's like my college.
Yeah.
You know, I gotta train, and I was never the talking there and trying to develop a career outside training. So I don't know if that kind of set me back a little bit, you know. TJ started to talk a little bit, started juicing a little bit here and there, you
Yeah.
know.
A little bit. Hold on a second. A little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm
That
not hating
boy's
on the guy.
always.
Yeah, I'm a pretty straightforward guy. But so let's use TJ here, and he can. If I talk some shit, he can come talk to me later or something.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Run it back.
but DJ started to implement well a little juice there. So he started to implement a little and then he started to implement a little supplement, like natural supplement, because he did natural supplement as well. So he did a little bit of illegal stuff, but he also did the natural stuff too. He dieted, you know, because he can't. You got to put the work. Like I like to use an example, like bodybuilders. You know, like this guy's a massive man. They do juice, but it's not just juice. They need to do all the stuff.
Yeah,
it's not easy to get
you still got to go to the gym and work out.
You still got to go, man. You still got to go hard and work out.
You can't just do juice and be ripped
and stay at home and just do. But so put that in perspective, and then he started doing some really nice. And I'm still talking about TJ. He started elevating his training levels. Bang, right, Dwayne Ludwig. He started to really improve his striking a lot, changing southpaw. I was one of the first guys which kind of started the southpaw thing. I was like, hey, you know what? Maybe I can go southpaw here and kind of use some different techniques, not to get hurt. I've always been a big fan of developing a style that I don't get hurt. That's why going back to where I wasn't as exciting talking or fighting, just because I try to develop a style where I don't get hurt, man.
Yeah,
you know, I want to fight 3-round fight, whatever, 2-3 round. I never fought 5 round. Well, I did fight 2 main events there, which were 5. They didn't last the 5 rounds, but it was mostly 3 rounds. I didn't want to get home all beat up, man. You know, freaking broken bones, orbital. I got injured, obviously. I've got probably 11 surgeries altogether. Yeah, I've got 11 surgeries altogether, training and all. But after my fights, man, I hated to get beat up. You know, I never went to the hospital after a fight. No.
I saw after the first TJ Dillashaw fight that he ended up you were injured. You had to get a surgery after that one, right?
TJ, no, before.
Okay, gotcha. Because I know after you beat him, he ended up fighting for the title a couple fights after, which was weird because you just beat this man. You know,
I was injured. I broke a little bone.
You were, So if you weren't, you probably would have
broke a sternum. I broke a rib right on the chest, and they were afraid because it was close to the heart.
Oof, yeah, definitely, man.
So it's dangerous. If the thing snaps back, it goes towards your. So I lost a title shot. Title shot on that injury. And then I broke my ankle. It was a big injury. I broke my ankle then. It was funny because the UFC gave me TJ Dillashaw on the rematch after I came back from ankle surgery. I was a year off. I had a problem with the recovery.
Yeah.
And they used to say, hey, when you come back, we'll give you TJ. I said, oh, man, give me another fight, you know?
Yeah.
Give me an easier fight, bro.
I know.
There's no easy fights here. I said, no, but give me TJ. And he was coming off, as you mentioned, Nick. When I fought TJ after ankle surgery, he was coming off 3 5-round title fights.
Jesus.
So basically, exactly, he had 15. He had 15 high-level championship rounds on his resume.
Yeah.
Before he fought me, after a year and a half layoff. So it was all fucked. Yeah, it was fucked up, man.
It is.
But But the props not the props, but the positive here is that the UFC entrusted me that I could still beat him again and then fight for the title after. But it's just too soon, I mean, I think, man, I didn't have a warm up fight. I never was a warm up fight type of guy, but
it would have been nice to kind of work your way back into it instead of getting thrown right.
Geez.
Yeah, I get it.
You get thrown to TJ after a 3-round, after a 3-fight, 5-round, 15-round resume that he put together.
And you saying that, which at that time before the second fight, you had beaten TJ Dillashaw previously. So I mean, it's no disrespect to him, but you kind of see like you obviously beat him. You knew what kind of fight that could be, and you knew he had even leveled up since then.
And
right? So you knew that was going to be a challenging fight.
And there's like, hey, Rafael, that's the fight we have, and you got to fight. And it was UFC 200. I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe something happens. I'll beat him up But man, this fight is so. I mean, the MMA world is so crazy, man. So for me, it was always so sincere. You can kind of feel the vibe, man. I was like, I was never negative about it. But I was like, you know what, man, it's probably tough to beat TJ right now. So I just took the fight anyways. You kind of know, when it's different. It's hard to explain. Like when I fought Garbrandt, I was like, oh shit, man. If I don't take, I underestimated myself when I fought Garbrandt.
Really?
I underestimated myself, and I underestimated his right hand. A
lot of people did.
No, man, right here. Yes, he touched my nose. It didn't break my nose. I was home. The next day, and my daughter, Daddy, I saw you fight. What happened? I was no injury, man. I had
no
nothing.
Injury. It was a flash knockout.
Nothing, dude. No concussion. No broken nose. Nothing. It was just knocked out. I'm up on my feet. Oh shit, man.
Yeah, man. So,
but I kind of knew. I was like, oh man, I was so realistic. I've always been so realistic. Man, but now I train with Garbrandt in Vegas there. I was like, man, if I would have taken him there, it would have been a different story. Why didn't I trust myself? I could have grabbed his legs, man, instead of trading punches with Garbrandt.
Yeah.
You grabbed the guy, I was like, I got good jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, right. You got great jiu-jitsu.
I still got good jiu-jitsu, man. I can smash any little guy, right?
I know you could. Yeah, man.
And I was like, man, why I didn't grab his leg or something and stall a little bit and change the fight? I wanted to trade and improve. So it's a mind game, too.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
it's all right,
Are you completely officially? I know you announced it at the last event you were at, retired. Is there any chance you come at a different event? There's so many other things besides the UFC now. You have the Karate Combat. You got bare knuckle. I mean, is there potentially a TJ Dillashaw fight number 3 coming up?
Trilogy,
where you bust his ass?
Man, man, sometimes I've got these crazy thoughts.
I know, right? It's never gonna leave you.
No, and this is give me a second. Yeah, this is Zion. He's a good boy, man.
Zion. Oh shit.
He's such a good boy.
Oh, dude, he is.
No,
awesome.
He's bugging me because he wants to stay on top of me on the chair.
Yeah, he's more than welcome.
He's been bugging, scratching the chair. Sit down.
No, I was talking to Joel, the other host that's not here. Did you start in NFC in Georgia?
Nah.
You didn't? Okay, gotcha. Because that's an organization I've competed in a little bit. I train over here at I train at X3 on Inman Park right now.
Oh, okay.
And
you in downtown?
Downtown, yeah. But I hear you have. Is it your own gym or?
No, I'm in the process of opening my own gym now.
Sick. You and your brother?
I'm looking for a spot right now, but it's humble. It's something. Sometimes, like when I'm talking to guys, like local guys. Everybody I'm talking to, like Tony Tucci. Tony Tucci is the owner of X3.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey man, I want to open a gym, and they think these guys think that like I'm like a millionaire, you know. Oh man, oh dude, you gotta buy your own building. I say no, man, it's humble, you know. I gotta, I had a good career, but it's tough, man. You know, I was never a champion, so money wise, it's not as easy as people think, you know. So I'm starting my own thing, but it's more humble, something small, and then we'll see what happens, you know. But I want to.
Yeah.
I was talking to Evan a little bit before, and something cool, you know, that I can you know pass on the next generation. I have a lot of knowledge though, man.
You do.
It's everything's inside, you know. Sometimes it's hard to share the knowledge the way you really want. But I have a lot of knowledge accumulated, and I one day I'm gonna let it go. But that's the next step here. But as far as competition, I don't know, man. Sometimes I was telling you, I feel like talking a little thing here and there, maybe getting a grappling fight with Uriah.
Ooh,
Getting like a grappling match against Uriah. He's a hell of a grappler.
Yeah,
and he took me out when we fought. I turned my back, and there's a mistake there.
He's crafty, man.
And or maybe do like a TJ Dillashaw. You gave the idea a trilogy, like a super fight trilogy against TJ if he wants to come back.
Yeah, man.
And fight again. Make some money or something.
Yeah.
A lot of guys in Brazil, man, they're doing they call the Music City Fight Show or whatever. So it's like a famous guy. He trains for 3-4 months in a training camp, and then he fights like a well-known retired fighter, and then they scrap, you know. Money that these guys are making millions of reais. I mean,
I'll go with you, bro. Let's get a plane ticket. I'm on the way.
yeah, no, and these guys are doing. So people are starting to ask me, "Hey, man, you ever coming back? You ever want to do one of like the super fights, the they call the show fights? You ever want to do one of those show fights and scrap in Brazil?" I say, man, I don't know. I'm thinking about it. It's not my priority anymore. Before, fighting was everything. I pay my bills.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, I gotta build an income, right? An income source, and steady there. I can't be fighting around. I need to build something, and then I can fight when I have, you know, like free time, get into a training camp.
I want to be updated with your whole process of getting this gym. I can definitely help out in a lot of ways, man. I got some connections.
Shit, man, that would be so helpful, man.
Yeah,
so helpful.
And if you guys need someone to coach wrestling, I know wrestling on like a Sundays happens in a lot of gyms. I'm good at that. So I mean, I got your back, man. I can definitely, you know, spread the word out.
I appreciate it, man.
We got to link up. Are you at Ascension right now?
I'm at Ascension, my brother's gym. Yep.
That's your brother's gym, right?
Freddy's in Alpharetta, Junior's in Cumming, Georgia. They're kind of Alpharetta, then Cumming, and so I'm looking for a spot right now. I just don't know which location will be feasible for me right now.
Yeah, definitely, man. I want to come
somewhere.
X3 school, I love it, but I want to come kick it with you guys and see what you guys got to offer over there.
Yeah, no, it's nice, and we are pretty small, like family oriented. It's not like the 10,000 member type of school, you know.
I prefer that more one-on-one instead of 1-on-20. And I'm like,
yeah, no, and our class is all geared towards the student, and my brothers, they're doing a good job there. So my time, I gotta put something together now. I'm excited to share the knowledge. I recently competed like some jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Did you?
Yeah, the jiu-jitsu, like peer jiu-jitsu, 100% jiu-jitsu, like high level jiu-jitsu.
Sick.
Yeah, it was nice.
Was it Naga?
Nah.
This is higher level.
Way higher stuff.
Way higher.
Yeah, I'm not bragging about no. Yeah, it's not Naga. It's high level. It's the IBJJF.
Oh yeah, because you are a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
I'm a black belt.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing
is, I won the Pan American. I won the Pan American in my division. So I won the Pan Ams, and then I placed second in the Worlds.
What?
Yeah, it's nothing. But it's tough, man. It's tough to get a medal in that tournament. They got
It's
60 guys in the bracket, all black belts in obviously, like 63 guys in one bracket.
Yeah.
And then you got to fight your way through. So it's cool. It's cool.
I was just watching some of that on YouTube recently. And Demetrius Johnson,
that's
is
the one he's doing.
Is a brown belt. So he competed at 155 as a brown belt.
In the absolute, he did the absolute.
Yeah, he did the right, which was insane, because he's, I guess, he's probably around your size, maybe. I think
he's probably around my weight. So, he's short. He's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, and I think the open weight or whatever, he came in second. He grappled a guy that was like 6'4", 256 pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, as a brown belt. And his fame is, he's got a big following. So cool. But that's the exact one that I compete. Is just as a brown belt is different though.
Right.
Black belts, this guy's sneaky, man.
Yeah. Absolutely, man.
This guy's sneaky because you got the older a little bit. In my class is the master 3, master. So I think it's from 35 to 41 years old.
Okay.
Or 36 to 42-year-old or something. This guy's go at him, man. They'll beat you up if you're not ready.
Yeah.
So that kind of kept my fire lit, and just kept me going. But right now I'm just chilling. Right now I haven't trained in 2 weeks, man. For the first time, it's like, oh man, I'm not even training anymore.
I've been out for 3.
How are you dealing with? So like, it's been about a year since your retirement of the UFC. Obviously, like you're talking about, still doing some grappling stuff. You've still been involved in the gyms. How do you kind of like deal with not being in such an intense camp? Do you like it? Is it nice to kind of be able to kick back and relax a little bit more? Do you feel that kind of itch to get back to doing something, real high intensity like that? Or
it's a pretty mixed scenario of feelings right now. Sometimes I do feel like, but I don't know, man. It's just like the time is going by. I'm getting older, and sometimes it's just hard, man. I'm a pretty hard guy to understand, very few people can understand, but I'm always like over. It's like, man, maybe I train too much, man. It's like I never enjoyed my training camps. I was like, oh, fuck, I gotta train, and I train more and more. The more I didn't enjoy, the more I trained.
Okay, I can see that. That makes sense, though.
It's like, okay, this feels like shit right now. Let me train more, and then I've always overtrained. I overtrained so many times. Overtraining.
We've been told that by fighters, coaches, other people that we've sat down and talked with before.
It's because it's mental. It's not physical. Physically, you don't need, man. Right now, and I'll be sincere to you guys. I'll probably have a beer, 2-3 beers every day now.
Yeah,
and I've got this special beer. I don't want to show the name, but I've got this special beer. It's awesome, mate. You gotta mix the ingredients. It's awesome, man. It's natural.
I want one.
Yeah, I know. It's I'll give you the name if you want, but it's like a natural beer that you gotta swirl the ingredients so it swirls. And what I'm trying to say is, it's not in a training camp. It's not physical. It's because right now I drink a beer every day and I still have a 6-pack.
Hell yeah!
I can still go into the gym and beat some guys up right now. But in training camp, I was always like, oh man, now I gotta train more because this guy. So it's a mental aspect. Yeah. And it's a very fine line where you're well trained and mentally strong and confident, where you're not as mentally strong and you're trying to overcompensate physically. So if you're not as mentally prepared, you usually try to overcompensate physically. I did that a lot.
Yeah.
I did that a lot just because sometimes training camp was not the way I wanted. Here in Georgia, we got really good guys here, but sometimes training camp was a little bit funny.
Okay.
It was never like California. I'll say right now, Georgia's training camp here for any professional guy. We will never be, or maybe we will. I don't know in the future, but we were never like California or Florida or Vegas.
Agree.
No,
it's lacking over here. I 100% agree with you.
No, it will not. It was
why,
never.
And why?
Why
do you think?
I don't know. Why.
Yeah, why do you think that is?
I don't know.
Too many gyms. Too many gyms. I feel like too many people.
Too many. I don't know the answer. I don't know because then I'm gonna overtalk.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer, but it was never like Vegas, Cali.
Did you train with Brian
in Florida? In Florida, South Florida, it was never. So that made me psychologically. That made me overdo because I knew I wasn't at the level mentally with the biggest team. So I'd always try to overcompensate physically, and that never helped me. I was cutting weight. I was miserable. These guys are like laughing. Hey, I'm cutting weight, and I was miserable cutting weight. I wasn't happy. Feeling. So this part of the sport, I don't miss.
Right.
Oh, I bet.
But now maybe I'm getting older. I'm starting to realize I'm like, man, I think I should have trained less. Yeah. Go drive. I'm a car guy as well.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I've got a few cars. Old. Yeah, I've got a few cars. Old cars. I've got all types of shit. All types of vehicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's my hobby and stuff. And I was like, you know what, man, go drive. And you got a fight coming up, but take a day off or something. Never. I never took a day off. I'm overthinking. So that on that aspect, I think didn't help me too much. I think I should have been more disciplined about and mental health. And this is mental health is a big thing now. If you guys notice.
Oh, of
absolutely.
course. You got to take care of you before you take care of anybody else, right?
When I was competing at the highest level, it was not. Nobody paid attention to psychology.
Right.
It's just train, try to beat them up. Now it's changed now. Conor probably has a psychologist.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sure he has like everything. A sports coach. They call the sports coach now.
Okay, wow.
Everybody has it now. So it changed, right? So when I was at the highest level, we didn't have that. It was just train. Now, they sports coach, psychologist, change.
Yeah.
The sport changed a little bit. It's not just physical run 10 mile it's feel good about it. Psychology is good, mental health, and then you do a good fight or whatever happens. But the sport is still crazy, man. I saw some chicks fighting the other day. I said, man, this chick's been hit more than I've been hit my whole career, bro.
Oh, you talking about the Aaron Blanchfield fight last Saturday?
Nah, it's,
that one was
I don't want
wild.
to say the name, but it was another chick.
Yeah, you're good.
Broken nose, 3 cuts, 2 here, 1 here, broken nose, pop arm pop. Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah.
She got beat up more than I got my whole career. Literally.
Let me ask you this. So let's because we've had you locked in now for
35
a little while. Yeah. So
I love it.
Let me rapid fire you off some questions.
And I'm sorry if like I say, I'm a quiet guy, but sometimes I overtalk. But you guys,
I like it.
We want it. We want this.
So before, while we were trying and reaching out to you on Instagram and stuff, and approaching you to come on this podcast with us and sit down and talk.
Yeah.
We try to do our research. Obviously, we came up watching your fights in your career, but we try to do a deeper dive and see I've been looking for interviews, right? And looking to see, you don't do much of this.
Nah,
right?
no.
You don't do much of this stuff, so it was really cool. You can talk the whole time for all I care. There are people out there, I'm sure, because this type of content surrounding you does not exist. You don't do it very often. So we feel very lucky and blessed that you agreed to come on here and show this side of you.
Thank you guys for reaching out, man.
So let me ask you some UFC questions.
Yep, no problem.
Let's start with this. Your top 5 all-time greatest.
John Jones, Anderson,
Okay.
St. Pierre.
Yep.
Khabib has to be there. The guy never lost.
He never lost. I know. Yeah. He beat Russian guys off the street that were like 0-7 in the beginning, but he did never lose in the UFC.
Never lost in the UFC, but
yeah.
I think that's it. And then who else out there?
So that's 4. So you got John Jones.
4.
You got Anderson Silva. You got GSP and Khabib. So who's your 5th?
Number 5's tough for everybody.
It is.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys you could throw in there.
It could be your personal favorite besides yourself.
Vanderlei Silva. Sorry, man. Oh man.
Oh, dude, what? That guy's a monster.
Almost missed Vanderlei.
And congratulations to him. He just got inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame.
I almost missed him, but I wasn't gonna, but I almost did. No.
So then
he's my friend. Vanderlei is my friend. He's not personal every day, but every time he sees me, we had wines together. We went out in Atlanta. He's into a little politics in Brazil. He's making a lot of money now.
No way.
He does a little politics. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, he deserves
scary
it.
motherfucker.
Yeah.
So then let me ask you. So next one.
Yep.
Your favorite fight of all time as a fan, and then your favorite performance of yours. So your favorite fight you've ever watched, and then your favorite performance or your favorite fight of your own.
Yeah. Favorite fight I've watched, man.
That's a tough one too.
Best performance was probably it was a different fight. It was a fight in Fortaleza, and I think I armbar not David Lee. My family was there, and then I got up in the cage and stuff. It was a nice armbar.
You got turned up. Oh yeah, David Lee at UFC.
It was the first time I ever got up in the Octagon. I was never like the guy. I was never like the exciting guy. And this time I got up in the cage. I had a cut here. Ooh. So I had a little bit of blood dripping down over here. And then my family was screaming. I was pointing to them like this. And that was probably my best performance.
We love that, man.
As far as the whole thing. For fight, man, for my perfect favorite fight, I don't know, man. I'm gonna throw a Vanderlei fight up in there, man. He used to get us excited. Probably the Vanderlei and
he's fought everyone.
He's fought everybody, man.
Well, and that's a guy that has always been entertaining. Every fight of his is entertaining. You could pick any one of his fights, and it could be
any fight, any one of his fights. Crow Cop, the Crow Cop fight, he lost. The Crow Cop fight, the Sakuraba fight was a big.
Oh yeah, with the soccer kicks to when he was down with the Sakuraba.
He beat the shit out of Sakuraba. Bro. The Rampage, he knee Rampage and Rampage fell into the ropes. That was a pretty badass fight there.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Probably a Vanderlei fight, man. Right now, a Vanderlei fight. And in the UFC, there are a lot of good fights in the UFC, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm part of the UFC, as my career. So every fight was nice for me. But Vanderlei Silva was the most exciting guy.
Yeah. We're big fans of his, so that's awesome. Yeah. And thank you again for coming on.
Hey, when the new gym is up and running, let's redo another one inside the gym. I'll show you guys the gym around. Help each other out.
I want to be a part of that, so definitely.
All right, brother.
Yeah. We'll stay in touch, and
thanks,
I appreciate you so much, man.
All right, brother. Have a good night, okay?
Yes, sir. Later.
All right, man.